Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing, this is the second half of the What Sold video, which will be for this past weekend, Friday through Sunday, July 4th through the 6th. And what a roller coaster of a weekend. I had Friday was really good sales and Sunday was really good sales. And then Saturday was like the second lowest of the last 31 days and probably like the lowest of 5 for the entire year. It was crazy.
It was a Saturday after Independence Day, which means, Independence Day on Friday, you got Saturday. People are camping, they're at the lake, people are doing stuff.
Shop. You should be It's too hot to be camping. You should be shopping.
Shopping. And buying like 100 items in a day to make it difficult for us to get the shipping done. Not too difficult to actually get it done, but just difficult.
Yeah, we're just kind of in limbo land right now because our truck...
This is Tuesday, July 8th. So happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday, Janiyah. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Yes. And our truck is still back in the shop with transmission problems again after we got a new to us refurbished transmission last week. But we're hoping, fingers crossed, they tell us it was something simple, they can fix it today, and if so, we're going to still try to be out the door Wednesday to head to Missouri. But if not, then I think we're going to be out the door tomorrow maybe to go to Nashville for a couple of days because I need stuff. I need stuff to list. I'm down to not very much stuff. I'm making lots. I'm looking through my inventory to see if I can combine stuff. I had some stuff that had just finished drying, so I had them to process. But it's just kind of pitiful stuff here. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, we hear something today. But probably more than likely we're leaving tomorrow, at least overnight, to go to Nashville and get some stuff processed, get some sourcing done and, get it back here so I have stuff to work on.
I have a question about listing every day.
Mm.
eBay said that it doesn't matter.
You're right.
They answered that back at a few years ago at one of their events. Somebody outright asked them and they said, no, it does not matter. Most sellers that I've heard from seem to say it really seems to make a difference. If you're doing end and sell similar, does eBay see that as 200, that you've listed 200 items that day? Because that's the point of doing the end and sell similar. So you would think that eBay would think, wow, she's listing 200 items a day or 400 items every single day. Well, she's really, if it really affects the algorithm, if that's the case, does listing another 12 or 15 items really matter if you've listed 400?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like, it's like we get into this, and I don't know what's the word? Intuitive their algorithm is, but like these are normal for me. The normal things. I delete and sell similar 400. I run a sale twice a week. These are all of my things that I do all the time. So if something changes to less, does it affect me? Or if I do more, does it affect me? I don't know. I don't know if it's that smart because I know the capability is out there for it to be that intuitive.
I've seen some of the negative feedback they won't remove. I know their systems are not that smart, at least on that side of it.
Let me go ahead. I had 2 sales on Etsy to share with you. Like I said, eBay was just kind of okay. I took a whole lot of lowball offers to get some of my old stuff gone. And then we actually had 2 on our new store that I'll share with you at the end. First on Etsy, I sold this Hasbro Arthur plush talking doll from 1996. Sold for $13.45. And then this Dakin Lou Rankin green frog plush sold for $44.95. So that was a nice sale. And then eBay. First thing, definite bread and butter. This was a Monday the Bullfrog book plush from 2006. Took a best offer of $7, but it was listed in 2023. So I'm thrilled that it didn't sell, you know, at like 40% off. Eden Humpty Dumpty egg plush, just listed it in June, and it sold for a best offer of $13. And I don't say this as often as I used to, but if you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping. So when I say something sold for, like this item, $22.45, the buyer has paid shipping. My shipping is flat rate, under a pound, and then calculated over a pound. Just as a short reminder, the shipping rates are changing, I think the 13th. So in 5 days from today, which is Tuesday. So make sure you print any labels that you have for sold items before the 13th. Otherwise, you're going to be paying the new rate, even though your buyers paid the old rate. What day of the week is the 13th? Is that Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, like, if it's after a certain time on Saturday, it automatically goes to Monday ship date, and they'll charge you. It used to not be that way. eBay wouldn't charge you if you printed all your labels on Sunday, but this last couple of changes, I noticed even shipping on Sunday to ship on Monday, the prices had already changed. So the next thing that sold was these Cabbage Patch Kids doll clothes. I think like 2 of them were vintage. I'm not sure about the other one, but they ended up selling for $22.45. I am so glad to see this finally sold. This, you know, I thought was going to do very well. The brand is Zapf Creation, and it was a made in West Germany, so definitely a vintage doll. And I want to say I paid $10. I bought 2 different dolls, a boy and a girl. I want to say I paid $10 for them. Before 2023, that's how old they are. They had some flaws, you know, that I didn't realize till after the fact. The little girl finally sold, I want to say, within the last year, and now the boy has sold. But I still ended up getting $48.96. This next sale is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Yvonne. Yvonne purchased these 4 items. The total was $43.40. She bought the Little People Donald Duck and Pluto Dog set, $12.95. Russ Cuddles, $8.05. It's a little brown bear. Build-A-Bear Spider-Man, $13.45. And a little Nanco puppy dog for $8.95. So thank you again, Yvonne. Pink Bear Plush by Lucky Plush Toys. See, I shouldn't have duplicated that word plush. I try not to do that. It's just, you know, a waste of keywords. Not that I would have probably added anything else, but I would have probably left the Pink Bear plush off if plush is in the tags, you know, the manufacturer's tag. But this ended up selling for $9.15. It was one of my old bears. Boston Red Sox 2004 t-shirt sold for $26.71. This is one of the doll clothes lots that I put together. I had purchased 3 boxes of doll clothes at my favorite little estate sale, paid $10 a box. There was some vintage Build-A-Bear and Cabbage Patch, and then there was a whole bunch of just plain doll clothes. Some were probably for, you know, really small dolls. Some were for the larger vintage dolls. I tried to kind of sort of put them together by size. And then this knit set sold for $12. But it is what also told me they're not selling very quickly, so I'm getting rid of the rest of my doll clothes that I've just been holding on forever. I mean, it's like 6 totes and boxes. So they just got to go. I'll go through them one more time to make sure there's no branded stuff in there. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and donate them. This next item is Mega Blocks. I like picking up the figures, but I really like when I can find these fairies and like the horses and stuff that go with them. This one was a unicorn. This small lot sold for $17.95. Mighty Star ASPCA plush dog. I was trying to look at the numbers to see if this was from my high bid estate sale, and it may be. It may have gone in like a second round because it's not in the totes that I knew I had put them in. But this one is by the 24K company, and it sold for $19.76. Phineas and Ferb folders. I messed up with the pictures on this one because I actually found a few more that I added to the lot, and you can kind of see them on the side photos over there. But my friend Shannon in Florida gave me some, and then I found some at an estate sale. It ended up being a lot of 10 of these Phineas and Ferb folders, and it sold for $20.66. I have another multi-order. These 3 items sold for $26. It was kind of an odd grouping, I thought. Somebody bought the Peanuts Gang knit hat for $8, Beatles jigsaw puzzle for $11, and then a Pac-Man puzzle for $7. So the total of the order was $26. Levi's 541 men's jeans sold for $15. American Eagle women's denim shorts sold for $12. Moshi, usually I do really well with Moshi, but this one has been listed since before 2023. Moshi it's this really soft kind of fabric, and it's stuffed with those teeny tiny micro bead foam pellets. But this one took forever. Maybe it's just the theme that it's a moose and it's not dogs or anything like that. But it only sold $9.86.
So we going to Highway 127?
I don't know. Anybody else planning on going? It's like in 3 weeks, y'all. And if we leave tomorrow to go to either Missouri or Nashville, I have a feeling the truck's not going to get ready. So we may just be going to Nashville. But, it's just all these trips. They're just kind of compounding on themselves. But it would be nice. But it would be expensive.
I'm not going to say they jack up their hotel prices because they have them. If you ever look at the door, like their listed rates, it's kind of high. Mm-hmm. And then they always give these really good discounts, except when it's busy, and then they don't give really good discounts. So I think we're going to be we're not giving really good discounts right now. Yeah. And sometimes Airbnbs are a better deal if you can find one in the area.
Yeah. I don't know. Anybody going? I don't know if going there and having the same sourcing as, 10,000 other resellers is going to pan out too great for us. We did okay the first year we went.
Maybe we should just go on past that and go to Nashville and go to the Benz while everybody else is at the Highway 127.
True. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be worth the Airbnb for, 5 or 6 days, because it's gotten to the point now. It's supposedly Friday through Sunday or something, but people are showing up and setting up like Monday. And then by the time you're there for the official times, a lot of it is sold already to the early birds. So do we be the early birds and have to spend all of that money?
Or are the people that set up early and they sold stuff early, now they're just wanting to get rid of stuff so they're giving better deals?
Yeah. I don't know.
We had fun,
but I don't know. Next thing that sold is this Thomas the Train and Friends wooden train. This is Murdoch from 2003, and it sold for $22.45.
Does Murdoch have a fake dog?
Cue a song or a movie clip?
You'll just have to wait and see.
All right, you guys, I don't know if you've even seen the the haul on this. This was from a Ben's bag. It is Disney Parks Wishables. This is Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, and it sold in like 3 days for $8.96. Love the fast sales. Walmart brown monkey plush 14-inch sold for $13.45. This was a nice surprise. I paid 50 cents for this at a like a church sale, I believe it was, in the last week or two. This is Duck, is the name of the character, from also Thomas and Friends, and it sold for $44.96, and again in like 3 days. And it wasn't the same person who bought Murdoch. Disney Ariel Little Mermaid coffee cup sold for $11.66. Women's Lazy One turtle print boxer shorts sold for $9. I think this came from my friend Shannon when we went down to visit her. She gave me like a tote that had some of these needlepoint cross-stitch kits in them. This one was called Something Special, had a tropical scene, and it sold for $11. Little Tykes blue friction motorcycle toy sold for $9. Been listed over a year. Had to make it gone. This was a really pleasant surprise. I think if you find Jellycat birds, definitely worth picking up. This was just a little 4.5-inch plush picked up at the bins, and it's from the Birdling series. It was a seagull, and it sold the same day I listed it for $50. McDonald's Happy Meal Funny Fry Guy Friends. I had some listed, and then I picked some up at the Sasha Doll estate sale, and then I picked up some more here recently, and I just decided to combine all of it. One big lot. Wasn't complete. You know, some of them do not have hats. I think all of them had legs, but they didn't all have hats, and there were a couple of duplicates, and they sold very quickly for $30. Bob the Builder. If you can find Pilchard and the Scarecrow, they do really, really well. I mean, Bob and Wendy also do well because, you know, they're no longer being made. But man, those side characters, those are the ones you really need to become familiar with. I knew that this was going to be a good sale. This was a 5-inch plush from Applause, and it sold for $22.45. She-Ra, Princess of Power replacement parts. This was in a My Little Pony lot that I picked up at an estate sale. There was just a few She-Ra's mixed in there, and I think something else, like maybe some strawberry shortcake or something, but most of it was My Little Pony. I paid $25 for just a tote full of stuff. Had a really good time just going through it, identifying it. I think I actually even made a video of just using Google Lens to identify some of it. And these two pieces sold for $8.96. Thai Pluffies. This is Baby Pups from 2014. There is an older one of this, I think, that does better, but this one was from 2014, and it sold for $8.96. And it was a very quick sell. Mossy Oak Western Roper short sleeve shirt sold for $15. Blankets and Beyond Pink Lovey from 2016 sold for $22.45. And this Domo, I just listed it. You know, and there was a time Domo took a little while to sell. It would sell, but it took a while. And this thing sold the same day I listed it. This is just a little brown 6-inch plush by Jack's Pacific, and it sold for $17.95. Now let me share with you the 2 sales from the new store that we are doing. The first thing that sold, and Robert still hasn't set up my little red pin on this, we're using, what are we using? Brave as the browser for this, because you can't stay logged in to, you know, the same eBay store on the same platform. So I use Chrome for my store and we use Brave for his store, and that way we can keep, you know, checking back and forth between them without having to log in and log out and all of that stuff. But the first thing we sold were these Torrid women's mid-rise flare jeans. We actually ended up selling them for $19.99. And this hot cotton Markwear linen tops. I bought 4 different tops at, I think it was like a church sale or something. I paid $2 each. This one sold for $19.68, but I've also sold another one since then, and it'll probably be in the next video.
Okay, you were terrifying me there for a minute, because I remember shipping that thing this morning, and I'm thinking, this
Nope.
is really bad, because the one I shipped this morning was blue, and oh, we got a problem.
No, I didn't realize we had sold this one. I knew I had sent or accepted an offer on the blue one, but I didn't even realize we had sold this one. But yeah, linen tops are very, very popular, especially during this hot season. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're still in limbo. I'm hoping, well, no matter what, we're going somewhere, I think, tomorrow. But let us know, do you plan on going to the Highway 127 sale? It is the first weekend in August, so it's right around the corner.
You said it was like the 7th or something, right?
Oh yeah, maybe the 7th through the 9th or something like that. So, you know, let us know in the comments if you plan on going. And if we decide to go, maybe we can all meet up, you know, somewhere along the way. I don't think there's any meetups being planned this year. Usually somebody puts something together, but I haven't heard anything.
But we could meet up for some supper.
Yep, meet up for some supper. All right, y'all, it's time to get to work. Bye.